Welcome in, everyone. Joe Quills here with you on this Monday night. Welcome into another edition of the Joe Quills Show, presented by absolutely no one. Coming up on the show, we have a lot to talk about. NFL Week One. Well, actually, you see all the stuff on the bottom of the screen if you're watching live or after the fact. You know, NFL Week One, Tyreek Hill, Josh Allen injured, Alex Morgan retires, and so much more. So, if you're watching on X or on YouTube or on Twitch, um, you know, feel free to chime in anytime you want. You know, if it's relative to what I'm talking about, especially if it's relative to what I'm talking about, I'll mention it. I'll pop it on the screen. You know the deal. So had some technical difficulties there. I do apologize. We're starting almost a half an hour late. That's definitely something that will not happen once the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network goes live, whenever that'll be. It was supposed to start up tonight, but don't worry. We want to make sure everything is 100%. We're not going to half-ass things. So we're going to get this right so that there's zero issues, well, near zero, and have everybody have the ability to not only watch live on YouTube, X, Facebook, wherever we send our stuff out to. Not only that, let's say you're in a car and you got a long trip. You're going from here to Pittsburgh, and personally, why the hell would you go to Pittsburgh? Um, but let's say you got a nice long road trip. You see that AJ shows on, my show, somebody else's show, somebody else as well. Yeah, and you like those shows back to back, whatever order they're going to be in. Okay, let's put it on. Let's hook it up to let's hook it up to the Bluetooth in the car. And boom, you're on your way. So, so that is going to be coming up. I don't have a date, but we are working on that, and we're not half-assing things where it goes down every 15 seconds or so it'll seem. We're going to make sure that things are right and have it ready for you from day one like it's been working for 5 years. So welcome in everybody who's coming in. Um, we'll get through this through this night here as part of the added delay was because um, I had a little bit of technical difficulties leading up to the start of the show, and then it was the bottom of the ninth. I was like, God, I can't go on bottom of the ninth. So Phillies did pull out a 2-1 win. The Braves lost, and the Phillies. Oh shit! There goes the neighborhood. SJ's here. I mean, hi SJ. How are you tonight, SJ? So the Phillies won, and I actually hit a wager tonight on uh well, SJ has the Jets minus 4.5. I have the Giants. I've been playing on BetMGM lately, and she has under 43.5. Okay. Well, there is a very fine line where you can win and I can win, and that's exactly 4 points. So, so let's hope for that. So, you know, everybody will be happy. You know, so that's something that we'll talk about here. Um, so I did see today as I was um, as I was getting ready to start the show. Little did I know that Christian McCaffrey was out because I wanted to get an added story on the whole Tyreek Hill thing, and I did see that there's also the body cam footage. So I'll let that decide our opinion of it. I mean, in a way, looking at it at first glance, my opinion is, you know, not of race, but of athlete and celebrity. The old "don't you know who I am" type thing. So that's my opinion so far. and I joked around on Facebook, and I said that 18 of his baby mamas were chasing after him. So, um, but um, but yeah, it's all relative, and you know, we'll see what we'll see what that webcam footage is, and if you have seen it already, don't spoil it for me, okay? So, and hopefully I can get the sound playing as well. So that's what we're going to do later on. So the Phillies won 2-1 tonight. The Braves lost 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds. I mean Cincinnati Reds. Um, da, 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 da. And the Mets are up 3-2 on Toronto. So that would knock the Braves back out of the wild card. Um, Actually, we'll knock them a game behind the Mets for that final playoff spot with about 79, 18 games ago. So, um, so yeah, so we'll see what happens there. SJ will keep us abreast of all the action in Santa Clara. They don't play in San Francisco anymore. They play in Santa Clara, but you know, they're still in the San Francisco Bay Area. So they're still the San Francisco 49ers, kind of like if the Sixers build on the former state prison in Camden, New Jersey, they will probably still be known as the Philadelphia 76ers. It's just that they will be in Philadelphia adjacent or Philadelphia's ugly stepsister. But we'll see what happens with that as well. Um, so let's get to it here tonight. And first of all, the Eagles did win on Friday night. And if you had the Eagles off of my pick that I gave you on Thursday night, congratulations, you have some money in your pocket. Or you have more money to spend if you played it online, like I've been doing lately with my football and baseball wagers. I even threw in a tennis wager the other night. Didn't win, but you know, it's all relative, and but the Eagles won a sloppy game. Jalen Hurts didn't look good. Threw a couple of bad interceptions, but with the bad interceptions um, he did throw a couple of nice touchdown passes. No, one touchdown pass, and Saquon Barkley, the former Giant, had 3 touchdowns, and I believe he's up on the Giants 3-0 in touchdowns this year, or is it 3-1? But either way, Saquon had 3 touchdowns, and he will be uh, another piece to the cog that is the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And by the way, happy birthday to Jeffrey Lurie. I don't know how old he is, but I saw today that it is his birthday. So, but um, you had your typical case of injuries. You had Josh Allen's injury. He hurt his left hand when he tried to leap over Buda Baker. Um, he was bracing his fall and hurt his wrist or hand, his left hand. It's his non-throwing hand, thankfully. I imagine he could still play on Thursday, right? But I don't know. So that's what I'm figuring is he will definitely play on Thursday. Um, at least that's my opinion, and nobody will stick to it. So, um, but I do, but you do have that. I did see that Jake Ferguson hurt his knee, but it was a bone bruise because he came down funny, he banged his knee on the turf at Cleveland Brown Stadium. I'm trying to get I'm trying to see if SJ is gonna clip some stuff tonight because yeah, I'm just in that goofy mood because I'm less than 24 hours away from my vacation, which is a staycation, unless somebody says, "Hey, get your ass up here, or down here, or out here, or whatever." Uh, but, um, but you do have Jake Ferguson hurt. Some of the other injuries that I saw, Puka Nakua is going to go on the IR. He's got a knee injury. Um, uh, Roma Dunze is week to week with an MCL sprain. Uh, Jordan Love, who was hurt at the end of the game on Friday night, he's got a sprained knee. He's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks estimation. The Packers are not going to put him on IR. So, I mean, it's good because, at first, because it was so late in the game, you didn't know what the injury was. It was like, is it the ankle? Is it the knee? Is it something else? But here it was the knee. It's a sprain. But they're going to uh, take some time with him to heal up. So 3 to 4 weeks for him. And we'll see if he gets back in that time frame. So he was injured. Um, uh, the Falcons said that Kirk Cousins' injury struggles were not due to injury. Um, uh, just trying to see some of the things I saw here because I'm trying to avoid the Tyreek Hill stuff about the body camera images. We had that big upset. The Patriots upset the Bengals, and if you had the Bengals like I did in the in your survivor pools, that's all because I didn't have a feeling about New Orleans because I thought that New Orleans would have a horrible game versus New Orleans against Carolina, but New Orleans put up 47 points on the Carolina Panthers yesterday. So, um, so a lot of things going on here. I know I'm missing a lot of injuries. Deshaun Watson, he had a horrible game. Maybe he needs to go back to having those happy endings and massages at the massage parlor and stuff like that. Maybe he needs to do that again. But he is allegedly a reformed human being, even though we weren't so sure about that a couple years ago. But it just seems like that he hasn't been the same since he left Houston. And maybe it's because he has a completely guaranteed contract, but it's just it may be that he gets they opt out of his deal before the end of the year, so that wouldn't surprise me one bit. So, um, and we'll see. So, um, so we'll see what's going on with everything, and Jason Kelsey is in San Francisco right now, or Santa Clara. He's on the halftime desk right now. 16-7 San Francisco right now. And we'll see, you know, next week. Next week, maybe I'll have the volume up a little bit more because my Philadelphia Eagles will be on Monday Night Football at the link for the actual home opener, even though technically it was last week. But whatever. And my camera is really acting weird lately. I might have to find the other program I had on here because let me just see one thing here. No, it doesn't give me any other options. Damn it! I did that myself. Oh well. So that's something I'm going to be working on over my vacation. Some of that stuff. Um, so um, let's get to excuse me. Let's get to the part that um, made us do a double take yesterday morning, and that was Tyreek Hill getting detained by Miami police over a driving incident. Apparently, he was speeding in a congested area. And I'm going to say right now, before we get into anything, there's good people in general, there's bad people in general. There's good cops and there's bad cops. So we'll make this judgment as we go along. Now, when I originally saw this, of course, I had to joke around, say that it was all the baby mamas chasing after him because, he has 12, 13, however many kids. But you do have, you do have, racial problems in this country and everything. And, Tyreek Hill tried to not say that it was racially motivated. Now, I'm going to try to stay neutral on this. But the one thing I will say is when the baby mama jokes were done with, I'm sitting here a little bit while I'm working because I worked yesterday because I needed to start vacation a little bit early. And I need that pillow there. There we go. I was originally thinking the same stuff that Scotty Scheffler did was in Louisville for the PGA, kind of like a "don't you know who I am" type situation. Scotty Scheffler trying to go through a police stop because they were investigating somebody getting killed on the road outside of the golf course. But that's what I thought. And I wasn't thinking, oh, you know, Tyreek Hill's black and, it's got to be a white cop. We don't know who the cops, well, I didn't know who the cops were at the very beginning. I didn't even see any video. Probably could have looked and found the video yesterday, but I didn't because the thing is, and one thing I will tell SJ is if anybody ever starts their shit with me and you're in person with me, get your phone ready just in case. I mean, even though I'm a calm person, you know, there are certain things that, will piss me off, or even if somebody said a bad thing to you or somebody else. But the one thing is, we are in an age where it's basically the Truman Show. Everything is a click or two away. It's a it's an unlock with your face. It's loading up the phone, going to your camera, boom, and then all of a sudden I can tape myself. I can record anything that's going on. SJ could do it. Hell, even my sister could probably do it. So everybody can do that. And the one thing is, whether you're 150 feet away, other side of the street, or whatever, you're seeing some things, but you're not hearing what's going on. Now, at first, you don't know it's Tyreek Hill, probably. I mean, I saw what his car looks like, but I didn't even look to see does he is his windows tinted or anything. But they didn't cite him on tinted windows. And I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about tinted windows on uh, new laws that were in Philadelphia as of May, and I'm that far behind on my podcast. I'm just listening to shit from May. So, the one thing I thought when I first saw this, after the baby mama jokes, it was the "don't you know who I am" type thing. Because we don't know who the cops are, and I will tell you, there are good cops and there's bad cops. If the cop did everything according to plan, and I get the feeling that this cop video that we're going to see favors Tyreek Hill, and so be it. I just think we are going to see, you know, I think that's what's going to happen. And if you've already seen it and you're, please don't comment in the chat, but I won't be able to stop you. And SJ, if somebody comments about Tyreek Hill before I respond, before I show the video, leave it up there. I'm not worried about it. I prefer that you guys don't respond, especially in the Twitch chat, but any chat for that matter. So, so multiple players were detained by Miami-Dade Police Department before Sunday's game, including Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was the main participant, antagonist, whatever you want to call it. He was pulled over for allegedly speeding while driving to Hard Rock Stadium, roughly 3 hours before the game kicked off. He was placed in handcuffs after a verbal altercation occurred, according to ESPN's Jeff Darlington, and he was cited for reckless driving. So now, here's the thing, and we'll see it in the video, and you know, don't spoil it for me, please. Now, you do see, I mean, you do see how police handle things in the show Live PD or On Patrol Live. My bad. My Live PD was the original name on A&E. But on Patrol Live, you see how they handle things, and the way that the show is done, it's a little bit Jerry Springer meets documentary on how cops are supposed to act. You know, it's kind of like showing both good and bad. You know, trying to get the bad guy. You know, trying to get news out of people missing, somebody who's wanted by the police, somebody who did this. But you know, it's a little smorgasbord of everything cop wise, good and bad. So the one thing is, and it doesn't matter if it's cops, it doesn't matter if it's you know uh, uh, investigatory discussion at a union job, for example. It doesn't matter what it is. You cooperate 99 times out of 100, everything will be fine. But there's always that bad apple in the punch. Because there's good workers, there's bad workers. There's good workers get fucked, and there's bad workers that get up to the top. And I can name a few of them, but not here in this forum. But um, Hill was released after several minutes, but the incident was filmed by nearby fans and quickly went viral on social media. And I didn't get to see any of it. By the time this broke, I was already working, I believe. So I didn't have, I didn't get to see the viral things, the viral videos. And the one thing I will say is, whenever I see a viral video, whether it was 5, 10 years ago when smartphones became the rage, the one thing I said to everybody was, um, I want to see, I want to see the whole video. I don't want to see just starting where the cop slapped regular civilian upside the head. Well, even though that's not, even though that's still not right, you know, you can't assume that the civilian did nothing because there probably was something that happened. Now, the video will probably show what why Tyreek Hill was acting the way he was, and I think even with everything going on, I still think it's "don't you know who I am" type of situation. And if I'm proven wrong right now in a couple of minutes, that's fine. Um, so, but the viral videos, because they always start in the middle of a situation. It never starts at the very beginning. So that's why there's body cameras out there by most police departments. Because guess what? those police departments need to back their asses up because of everything that's going on in police brutality cases over the years. And, and if it still shows that a cop went rogue, gone at the very least. Or they get locked up more than just for detainment, which is something that a cop should tell the person. If they, if a person refuses to get out of the car, then so be it. But, you say, hey, can you come out? And also you basically say, hey, you know, you're not under arrest. We're just detaining you, blah, blah, blah. And you see it all the time on Patrol Live. And in a way it is a bit of, you know, I'm not going to say it's staged, but these cops have to be even more in their P's and Q's because you're in front of a, a, a nationwide audience. And On Patrol Live is probably the top show on Reels. So it's not like you have some fringe show. I mean, it's probably their moneymaker, just like it was for A&E before they canceled the show because of George Floyd and other things that were going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Because there was like I believe that there was a cop chase in Texas, I believe. So, you did have all that. So, but Um, and Troy Aikman's really gotten gray over the last 6 months from when we last saw him in January. Must be all that 8 beer that he has. The the number 8 because he wore number 8. But um, so Tyreek Hill said yesterday after the game, right now I'm still trying to put it all together. I don't know what happened, but I do want to use this platform to say, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Worst case scenario. Fair point. But the one thing I will say, and there's somebody who, if somebody riles me up, you know, and you get so angry at somebody, you just don't remember shit. You just black out, so to speak, and you're just going batshit crazy over certain things. But um, he also says everybody has bad apples in every situation, but I want to be able to use this platform to figure out a way to flip this and make it a positive on my end, and Miami-Dade can do something positive for the community. Now, I don't know if that was Drew Rosenhaus in his ear. I don't know if it's his lawyer in his ear, but I didn't hear him say that. So I don't know how sincere it actually was. It may have been sincere, but just my opinion. Um, Now, Hill says he had no idea why officers placed him in handcuffs. He said he was not disrespectful and did not use profanity towards the officer. So the video, we'll see if he's telling the truth or not. Teron Armstead said Hill was pretty upset but ready to play. Hill celebrated by placing his hands behind his back while teammate Jalen Waddle, quote unquote, detained him. Um, Now, during the incident, video showed Hill lying on the ground, handcuffed with 4 officers around him. Um, the Dolphins teammates Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith stepped to offer support to Hill and de-escalate the situation. And Campbell ended up getting detained as well. Campbell said when asked why officers told him he was being detained, it was because he was disobeying a direct order. He said I was too close to the scene, and then I think he said something about me not moving my car in time. I don't know. He told me I wasn't being arrested, but he cited me for being detained and then released. Probably because Calais Campbell's about 300 pounds, and he would probably kick the shit out of every officer that, you know, if you take the gun factor away, Calais Campbell probably destroy every cop that was there on the scene. So at least that's about that. But we know in this world, cops carry guns and blah blah blah. So um, so Miami PD Director Stephanie Daniels, who initiated an initial immediate review of all the details surrounding the incident. 3 hours later, Daniels announced that one of the officers was placed on administrative duties while the investigation is being conducted. Now, I know in the city of Philadelphia, I'm sure that they would do something like this as well, or just suspend with the intent to dismiss. Um, I'm sure that they, like in Philadelphia, you use your gun on the street on duty, you're automatically on desk duty until the investigation's over. Yeah, how long that investigation takes, it's depending on how much information and all the rigmarole that goes with it. Um, Hill was informed of Daniel's decision in the news conference, and he agreed with the action. Of course, you have to investigate it. So um, he said, "That's everything you need to know then. I'm just glad my teammates were there to support me in my situation because I felt alone when they showed up. It made me realize we have a good fucking team this year. For them to put their life on the line, it was amazing to see." Um, Campbell, Calais Campbell also said it makes sense officers were placed on administrative duty. Um, Brian McCarthy, the NFL spokesperson, said the league has been in contact with the Dolphins and declined to comment further. Mike McDaniel said he didn't know all the details when he spoke after the game, but he was happy how his team came together to help out a teammate. Um, McDaniel said that Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith were pretty rattled as well. So that's everything from that first story. Now, as I was as I was getting ready here, Penguin. Penguin is watching on YouTube tonight, so he can say as much shit as possible without SJ, my friend SJ here. Uh, SJ has no control over banning the Penguin AZ on YouTube, but uh, yeah, go Pack Go. Yeah, go right to 6-11 after they lost to my Philadelphia Eagles. And but thankfully though, thankfully, thankfully Jordan Love did not have a season-ending injury or an injury that would be um, long term. It's only a few weeks, but you still got a couple of weeks that you got to find a way to win without him. So, but I did talk about that earlier. So now the police union that uh, represents the Miami-Dade police, they said Tyreek Hill was uncooperative and was redirected to the ground while in handcuffs during his detainment before the Dolphins game on Sunday, only because he refused orders to sit. Now, we'll see that video in a couple of minutes, but I can tell you one thing from working in customer service and dealing with some really ignorant people. When the mouth is open, the ears usually do not work. So you're talking blah 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 blah, or you could just be sitting there like Eli Manning face with your mouth open. When that mouth is open, you're not going to hear. I don't care how good your hearing is. When the mouth is open, the ears shut. Um, Ramsey said the whole department needs a review. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to go beyond just this, but I think they're going to look specifically on this. And I'm going to play that video in a couple of minutes. We'll see how that video was from the cop cam, the body cam perspective here. Um, So Stedman Stahl, who's the president of the South Florida Police Benevolent Association, said before the Dolphins game, an incident occurred where Tyreek Hill was placed in handcuffs before being released. Um, um, First, to be clear, no time was he ever under arrest. He was briefly detained for officer safety after driving in a manner in which he was putting himself and others in great danger. Okay. And Penguin says Hill has too much pride to sit on the curb. I mean, he was in sweats. I'm sure the curb was temperature hot. Yeah, I mean, it's it's southeast Florida. You know, I mean, we know from watching Tony Bruno's videos that it's hot. It's still hot as fuck down there. So we know about that already. Um, Upon being stopped, Mr. Hill was not immediately cooperative with the officers on scene. Pursuant to policy for their immediate safety, placed Mr. Hill in handcuffs. Mr. Hill was still up and cooperative, refused to sit on the ground, and therefore redirected to the ground. So once the situation was sorted out within a few minutes, Hill was issued 2 traffic citations and was free to leave. But I think after a few seconds, they realized, oh shit, this is Tyreek Hill. And they probably, you know, I mean, if it was me, Penguin, they probably would have said, um, they probably would have just said, all right, get you're going to jail. You know, don't let SJ hear that because she don't let SJ see that because SJ's on my Twitch feed. SJ has the Jets at -4.5. Um, but gotta warn you, SJ, Niners are about to score again, but you're probably watching already. Um, I have the I have the 49ers. Um, I've been playing a lot on BetMGM recently. Uh, what did I say for SJ? Did I say -4.5? That's probably what I said. But like I said, I'm free. I'm okay with somebody correcting me as long as it's not, hey, you asshole or anything like that. But um, yeah, so I've been playing on BetMGM because I put $25 on there, and SJ saw me hit hitting the casino of BetMGM's app yesterday or last night, and I had the Phillies pitcher Christopher Dirty Sanchez with under 5.5 strikeouts. He only got 4. Um, um, but you know, um, and Rogers is getting smoked again in California. He can't play in California anymore. Never has. Niners have his number. He's already frustrated. Want to pass, and once that happens, he sucks. Maybe a little bit of fear because of the injury. At least that's my opinion. I haven't really paid attention to the game because I was watching more important sports that began at 6:40 Eastern Time. The Phillies won tonight 2-1, and we'll get into the sick play that hurt the Phillies tonight. The sick bad luck that occurred, but um, yeah, you're not winning this year, buddy. Let me tell you, not happening. And the Rangers tomorrow. Okay. So Julius Collins, who's Hill's attorney, said his legal team is exploring all legal remedies that may be available to Mr. Hill, as we believe the officer's actions on September 8th were excessive. Okay. Yeah, I know I said it last year. But the one thing is, everybody on the Phillies is getting hurt the wrong time. Uh, Sosa's hurt, Bohm's hurt, Harper's got an issue with his elbow. Uh, oh, that reminds me. I do have a story I have to share, and it's going to be my first gossip second section. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I told SJ I was going to do this tonight. There is an interesting story. It borders on the stupid shit I saw segment, but it's more gossip than it is stupid shit I saw, or it could be. We'll let you decide. So, um, now Stahl, the commissioner, the president of the Benevolent Association, said, while we wait for the investigation to run its course, based on what we know, we stand with the actions of our officers, but look forward to further open communications moving forward. While we're confident in the actions that led to the stop of Mr. Hill, as with any investigation, we will wait for all the facts to come out, along with the explanation they may have their actions for the unfortunate incident. Um, as of earlier today, Stahl said on the Andy Slater show, the union has not been able to view body camera footage, and officers didn't know who they had pulled over Sunday morning. Um, it was the driving pattern that caught the officers' attention. Hill was allegedly driving at a high speed through a congested area, and Hill did not want to comply with the when he asked to roll down his window. Stahl also said if Hill had just complied, it would just sped the process up. Like I said before, you participate in the investigation, the problems aren't as bad. Um, Collins disputes that Hill refused to roll down the window. Um, it originated as a traffic infraction, but then was escalated. Um, After Mr. Hill provided officers his driver license and then rolled his window back up, one of the officers then knocked on Mr. Hill's driver's side window and advised Mr. Hill to keep his window rolled down. Otherwise, he was going to get him out of the car. Hill had his window rolled down that the officer then demanded Mr. Hill out of the vehicle. Hill complied with the officer's request. Immediately after, officer then aggressively approached Mr. Hill and stated that something in the effect of, if we got to break that fucking window, we will. Mr. Hill rolled down his window, blah, blah, blah. And Stahl had said that he wants to review the body cam footage before developing an opinion. Now, before we go into this video, I do want to tell you that there have been a few incidents with Tyreek Hill in the past. And let me go over here. Now I'm trying to. So, some of this is on here already. Um, and this goes back to 2014 when he was originally with Oklahoma State. Um, he was accused of punching his girlfriend at college at Oklahoma State and got kicked off the team. He pled guilty to domestic assault and battery by strangulation. In 2019, prosecutors in suburban Kansas City declined to charge Hill after an alleged domestic violence incident involving his fiancee and their 3-year-old child. Last offseason, he was under investigation by Miami-Dade police for assault and battery after it was reported he got into an argument with a South Florida Marine worker, which apparently ended with Hill hitting the worker, and then they resolved the dispute without court. Um, and and then there was a there's a there was there was a lawsuit that came out in February. Model and influencer Sophie Hill filed a civil lawsuit against Hill, alleging that he had broken her leg during a football lesson at his house the previous June when he invited her to run offensive line drills against him. Well, I mean, yeah. So, um, So you have all that. So, um, so what we're going to do, I'm going to play the body cam footage. It's 3 minutes and 36 seconds here on. Um, uh, so Mike says he has a habit of being a dick. Yeah. Now, one thing I'm going to say, and Mike, I think you may have missed my. Uh, Hi, Mike. The one thing I will say is, and Mike knows me well. Um, and a couple of things Penguin said here before I get to it. Um, End of the day, Tyreek's a thug, and they made it like the saying goes: you can take the man out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the man. Eh, I mean, some people do change, you know, but I get what you're saying there. So, um, and the one thing I will say, and Mike probably saw the joke I made yesterday morning, probably after I started working. I basically said that, all his baby mamas were chasing after him. But after a while, it wasn't about race. It was about Scotty Scheffler incident as well, even though you may consider it apples and oranges, because, everything's got to be about race. White guy, black guy, I didn't think that. And, you know, I still think it's more, don't you know who I am? And I can tell you right now, if I was a cop there in Louisville, I'd be doing the Conor McGregor thing. Who the fuck is that guy? Because Scotty Scheffler, the thing is with Scotty Scheffler, even though he made $62 million on the PGA Tour this year, winning the Tour Championship a couple of weeks ago, you know, I wouldn't know Scotty Scheffler from, I don't know, Scotty Rowland. Well, I probably would know Scotty Rowland because he's gray and bald and shit. But you get the idea. But the thing is, when Scotty Scheffler got into trouble, I believe it was in Louisville during the PGA Championship, I felt that it was, don't you know who I am? I need to go to the course. When they're trying to investigate this guy who died right outside the course. So there was all these different things that were going on, all these different um, all these different factors that were coming into play here. So you don't necessarily have um, and forgive me here, I'm doing like 18 things at once here. And the one thing I will say, if you offer me a free program on the Daily Racing Forum website, 8 times out of 10, I'm going to use that program. And I am right now with the Cinnaboy Downs. By the way, that race is coming up in about half an hour from now. So I might actually call that race as well. So I don't need this Josh Allen story. I talked about it already. But, the one thing I will say is it was more, don't you know who I am type situation to me because, you know, like I said, a lot of times I, in a way, even though doing something like this would lead to meeting athletes, I am the type that'll say, okay, if somebody's being a total asshole, they're either a total asshole anytime they're not inside the lines of the field, or B, they're just having a bad day and you caught them on a bad day. And I'm hoping it's B instead of A. But, a lot of times when you're doing stuff like this, you will hear certain things from certain people. And I would take the, take the comments from different uh, media people if you want to lump me in there, but, streamers, whatever. But I'm going to play this video here. We're going to judge what they what happened, and hopefully it does play. Um, and Yeah, I mean, I mean, people could assume that I was Andy Reid when when I was younger, had a little more hair, and was a lot fatter. Um, you know, lots of money. Whoops, lots of money out there. Some public figures are just as rich. Yeah, I mean, and I hit for $400 last night. I felt like a rich fuck, but you know what? I'm still sitting here all alone in this apartment. Mike, I'll have to tell you that story later, or maybe even next week, because it's next week. Um, so, um, so let's get to the video here. No, not that video. Well, I am going to add a gossip story that I didn't plan on talking about originally, putting this together last minute because I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I do want to do it. But here's the video that's going to be coming up here. And the one thing I will say is, if you do not hear it, let me know. I'll see if I can fix it. But and yes, I'm going to mute my microphone as well, because I had the windows open tonight, and Mike knows that it does tend to get noisy with the street behind me. But I think that was coming more from either Castor Avenue or from that three-way intersection. But anyways, here's a video. Let's make our decisions off of this 3.5-minute video. Oops, hold on. That's my fault.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why do you have it up? It's Tyreek Hill. At least I know where you're talking. What you gotta do? Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Manny. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, Get out of the car. Give me your ass. I'm gonna break that fucking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of law don't you understand? Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew. Hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro. Y'all.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
You set him up?
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, bro, dude beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Damn.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey. Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just heard you in your ears when we go there and put your window down.
Chill, bro. Hey, Joe New, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew. Hey, call Drew. Call Drew, bro. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen,
man.
big man, don't park there, man. Just get in
Hey,
the
yo,
car.
hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Straight up the side, on the side of the,
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey,
I'm
you're
not
in the car.
Who's the driver?
This is my car.
All right, move.
I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
Coming, man.
Let me have your license. You get a ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You get a ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license.
Leaving. Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
Sir, what's going on?
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Get in the car and leave.
You're not gonna give me your license?
I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now.
Sir, you want me
Hey,
to
your license right now.
I'm leaving.
Or I'm gonna lock you up.
just told
Your
me to
license
leave.
right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir, he just-
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
Oop. Helps if I turn the mic on. So, if you want to voice your opinion, go right ahead. Um, so I think what we have here is a little bit of both parties being in the wrong. Tyreek Hill didn't completely cooperate with the police. Yeah, they got a little out of control there. So it is, you know, two wrongs don't make a right, and four rights have you go back to the same spot you were at the beginning. But you know, but the one thing is, we do see Tyreek Hill was non-compliant as well. So you did have a little bit of everything there. So you did have a little bit of brutality there, but you also had a non-compliant person. Now, the only thing is, you never hear them telling Tyreek, at least in that video, and I think there's a couple more minutes involved here. Um, you don't have the cops saying, "We're not arresting you. You're just being detained right now." Now, did they put the cuffs on with intent to arrest? I don't know, but are they giving him a break because he's Tyreek Hill? Possible, but both sides are in the wrong here. Tyreek fully cooperates and he doesn't put his window up. We probably don't have that footage there. So, um, although Mike says exactly, although I think the officers were on their way to Taco Bell and they were late. Um, but he does say, seriously though, you're right. You know, both sides are wrong here. Plain and simple. And this is going to get twisted around. We know it. And we are going to see everybody siding with Tyreek Hill except for friends and family of the cops, and those that back the cops, and those that just don't like Tyreek Hill. But he does have a history of incidents where the police got involved, even though no legal action was taken. Now, the NFL is going to be investigating this as well. They're going to keep an eye on everything. And I don't think there's anything on there that warrants any type of discipline from the league. Um, but, you do have both sides just not, not doing anything. And, I don't know which officer is the one that's going to be on. I don't know which officer is the one that's on desk duty. I don't know if it's the one with the camera or the one that was talking to Calais Campbell there, or whoever it was. Or was it John Smith that was driving? I thought Calais Campbell was driving, but feel free to correct me. But whatever it is, um, And Mike said this, and it does make a good point here. His ass was speeding, and he thought he was privileged because of who he was. Yeah, exactly. You know, but I don't think you can necessarily blame everything with, you know, I don't think the cops are completely to blame. I don't think Tyreek is completely innocent. You know, if this were hockey, they'd probably both get a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct. So, you know, but because we're so anti-police right now, you know, and and I mean, we had all the police things that happened. You had George Floyd. You had other things that happened over a couple years. And on top of that, people are batshit crazy because of the whole COVID thing. No wonder why. No wonder why most of Philly got ransacked in riots. No wonder why other cities were rioting like crazy because we're sitting all cooped up in our home being locked down. So, um, but yeah, it's but no, there. I'm staying neutral in this, like I was from the very beginning, and I had a feeling that it was a little bit of both. So now, but also we did find out that Tyreek Hill had a knee surgery recently. When that was, I don't know. Because I can't consume every bit of information that comes on BleacherBrothers.com, ESPN, Barstool. I got a story on that coming up, which is another story here. Um, that's our gossip segment, and you know, and you know, so I can't. I mean, Michael vouched for me. Michael vouched that I am a fountain of useless information. You know, I will pull I will pull some facts out of nowhere and be like, "Where the hell did you get that from?" I'll be like, "Oh, just the way that I am." But you know, uh, Penguin AZ going with the Philly sports talk stuff and Tony Bruno stuff. Let's get it back to Eagles football. We talked Eagles already, but you get the idea here. So, um, but two wrongs don't make a right. Um, yes, you are useless information. About a vat and a half of useless information because Mike had to correct himself there because he types like me. Once I'm off the clock at 7:30, you know, I don't give a shit about the typos. Actually, I don't give a shit about the typos when I type, but I can always correct it. So, um, so that is what happened with there. And I forgot what that code word was that SJ had, but it'd be useless because Penguin is on YouTube right now, so he's in a safe haven there. The useless Quills show, aka UQS. So, anyways, little sorbet to that story here. Soccer legend Alex Morgan retired yesterday. She played a symbolic 13 minutes and had a penalty kick saved on Sunday for San Diego Wave FC in her final match as a professional, 4-1 loss to North Carolina. She announced Thursday that last night's game at Snapdragon Stadium against the North Carolina Courage would be her last of her nearly 14-year career. She was denied a dream exit by North Carolina Courage goalkeeper Casey Murphy, who was one of Morgan's teammates with the U.S. national team in recent years. Um, they stopped after the 10th minute. Um, her left-footed effort was saved by Murphy. Uh, and Penguin ruined it for everybody. Love you, brah. Good stuff. And yes, I follow her. She is pregnant again. Needless to say, needed to retire. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say needed to retire, but I think what I'll mention in a second is that, the calls of motherhood, the second child, and everything probably led to it. You know, lost the mojo after the first kid. I think a little bit of age started catching up. You know, but she removed her cleats and tearfully waved the blue kisses to the crowd, with fans chanting her name as players from both teams surrounded her and applauded. She was replaced by forward Amira Ali, but she left the field with just over 13 minutes on the clock, a nod to the number 13 that she famously wore. Um, yeah, because she had over 100 goals. Well, first of all, this was a first women's sporting event that was shown across multiple outlets, including ESPN networks, who simultaneously in the U.S. Covered the game, which was initially slated to air on NWSL Plus and Paramount Plus, but it wasn't on ESPN the Ocho. So, um, so some of the things over here. Uh, First of all, 26,000 in attendance for that game in nearly 100-degree heat at the 32,000 seat home of the Wave, also the home of San Diego State football, by the way. Um, Morgan said Friday she would play limited minutes on Sunday. On Thursday, she announced that in addition to retirement, she's pregnant. She said, I did everything I ever wanted to do and more. California gal, yeah. I felt so at peace because I'm ready to start a family and I'm ready to hang up the boots and allow the next generation to flourish in the spotlight. Yeah. So, this isn't a decision that she made lightly. I mean, obviously, her husband was a part of it. Um, she went to Cal. It's just that they get thrust into the spotlight because of the World Cup and the fact that the U.S. women's soccer team is perennially top 5 in the world. So yeah, um, she's won 2 World Cups in 15 and 19, an Olympic gold medal in 2012. She had a bronze medal in 2021. She scored 123 goals, fifth most in the program history, and one of only 7 players to score 100 or more. So yeah, like Mike said, her records are incredible. Um, she wore the captain's armband on Sunday. Her daughter, 4-year-old Charlie, was her mascot for the walkout and national anthem. Charlie wore a Wave jersey with Mom 13 on the back. Morgan said she expected about 80 family and friends to attend the match. Wave interim coach Landon Donovan, himself a U.S. men's national team legend. It's sad to see her go. I don't think there'll be another like her. Um, so yeah, you know, it's a time where you have to make a tough decision, and she made the decision of having another kid, and she was probably going to be ending up retiring probably after the year, and probably just sped it up a couple of months. I mean, that's my speculation, but so let me just do one thing here. By the way, coming up in 5 minutes is the Quills Picks Winners Race of the Day. Just to let you know, I had the 8, who is Counter Command, who is 7-1 at the moment. be a nice winner for me if it comes in. Favorite is the one, frankly, who's at even money right now. So it's a 2-year-old race, so basically anything could happen. So, but now that we had that little sorbet, let's get into a little gossip. And this is the first time that I'm going to be doing this. So I'm going to share my screen once again. And this is from Barstool Sports. And I saw it the other day. Uh, this is from Friday. I will add it here. So here you go. A professional athlete sleeps with multiple partners without ever having intentions of being romantically involved. Gee, really? Sorry, I had to pop on just to say that again. So, anyways, um, by sure, by now I'm sure a majority of you've seen the story going around about a young woman who had a little rendezvous with a Phillies player, which resulted in her getting ghosted, blocked, and becoming celibate after the encounter didn't play out the way she thought it would in her head. There was a blog post about it. I'm not going to get into that. Um, uh, so here's a quick lesson out there. It's pretty apparent this girl doesn't have an older brother to teach her these things. So allow me to just take on that role for a moment, because one thing about professional athletes, especially single ones, is that the fellas enjoy the fruits of their labor. One of the perks of being a pro athlete is you have a chance to sleep with pretty much half the city that you play in. Pat Burrell did it for a while when he was with the Phillies. Mike Richardson and Jeff Carter did it with the Flyers. Pro athletes everywhere consistently have women throwing themselves at them, which leads them to plenty of love them and leave them type of encounters like this. So, um, now let me see if I can find the video here. Maybe on this other one here. Hold on. So I might have to. So basically, what happened is she she had season tickets that were near this Philly who she banged. Not not William Hung singing she bang, but um so, and also with this I have not heard this, so let me see. So we're going to play this here, and once again, if you don't hear it, let me know. I'll see if I can fix it. And if I don't hear anything, if I don't see anything in chat, then it means that you probably hear it. So here we go.
Put a finger down if you were so madly in love with one of the Phillies players that you used to DM him all the time, telling him how in love with him you were, and you never thought he would ever see those messages, but he did. And not only did he see them, but he responded to them, and he was like, hey, do you have a Snapchat? And you were like, no, I don't have a Snapchat. So you created one specifically for him, and you guys are Snapchatting back and forth for a few days while you keep telling him how in love with him you are. And then he proceeds to invite you over to his house. So you go to his house and you sleep over and you spend time with him with no protection at all. And then the month preceding after that, you try and keep talking to him because you're so fucking delusional that you don't realize that this man doesn't give a shit about you, to the point where he literally has to tell you, I don't give a shit about you, and then blocks you so he never has to talk to you again. And this sends you into such a down spiral because you are so in love with this person for God knows what reason, that you become celibate from all romantic relationships and sex, and you have to sell your season tickets to the Phillies games that were right in front of where he played because you literally would rather throw up and die than sit there.
All right, so I think we have an idea who the culprit may be. Now, I joked around at first saying it was Small Dick Nick, but the one thing is this lose a finger shit. Well, first of all, if you're going to drop a finger, don't make it a 3-minute conversation about something here. So, and the fact that she's celibate, thank God. But, but I think we have a person in mind who may be the guy. Now, she said that she sat in front of a person. Now, mind you, it could have been Nick Castellanos if she was sitting on the side right there on the right field corner. But I think it may be a certain guy who was rumored to be in a relationship with Aaron Dolan, uh, some guy who is on the disabled list right now is might be coming back this week, even though he's trying to get his hand back in order after that goofy injury that he had. So it's possible it could be him. Now, whether it is or not, we may never know. Now, the way that it sounds, we might be able to eliminate the married guys. So that eliminates Schwarber. It eliminates Nick Castellanos. But, you may say, oh, I'm getting a divorce from that chick. Could have said something like that as well. We never know. Could have been Castellanos. I mean, we can eliminate Castellanos probably. We can eliminate Schwarber. We can eliminate whoever's in center field. I mean, we can't rule out Brandon Marsh. Can't rule out Alec Boehm. Turner's married. Stott's married. Harper's married. JT is married. So basically, I think we know who the guy is if it's based off of that. And we may be totally off here because you never know. It may be you're talking to somebody, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm not married. Then the next thing you know, you're saying something else because guess what? He was married the whole time. So, so even though I joked around on Facebook and said this was Small Dick Nick, I think we know who the culprit is. And this may be the reason why if Alec Boehm and Aaron Dolan aren't dating, because some people said they were, some people said they weren't. We heard a story about it, and then we haven't heard any gossip over the last month. At least I haven't seen anything. But, I'm sure there's a lot of people in that chick's age range. And, I shouldn't be using the word chick, but this girl, woman, whatever, she did, you know, in a way outed the person. And you can kind of tell, I sat in front of the person. So that eliminates some people. And, she did say that he wasn't married and the article said about that too. So who knows? It could be anybody, but who knows? But, but the thing is, if you're young and you're attractive, and I didn't think she was that hot, maybe I need to do a fake profile of an athlete. But then again, they'd be running away. And they're off in the sixth at Assiniboia Downs here. And I'm not going to call the race because I didn't prepare myself for it. But I'm still in this topic anyway. So, yeah. So it's just annoying. It's an annoying story, but it doesn't surprise me that this stuff happens. But I guess whoever did it, if it wasn't wink wink, whoever it was, um, I would give her a 2 out of 5 for her looks. And my horse will not win in this race here, as the favorite goes on to win the 5 horse Hey Sweet Darling. And this chick was not a sweet darling. so so yeah. Um so that's everything that's going on here. So uh uh I apologize for yawning there. And that second down play was reminiscent of the final play of the Ravens Chiefs game where Isaiah Likely's foot was out about that much. But it's 29-13 San Francisco, and it looks like I will have a winner tonight. So, uh, but let me just check one thing here before we call it a night here. No soda tonight, but it's water. I had a lot of soda earlier today. I had to go get a blood test this morning, so I ended up getting a soda this morning, and I got a promotional thing with Acme this week. I got a deal where I can get 2 liter bottles of store brand soda for 90 some cents, where they're normally $2. Where basically you're just paying Philly, most of the Philly soda tax. Um, but let me just check one thing here. So I am going to win. It appears with the Niners tonight. Got about 7 minutes left in the game. Yeah, I know. My bets. Um, no, I lost because I had under 41.5 points. They're already at 42. So, oh well. But it was only a $5 wager on that parlay anyway. So, but um, so um, so that is going to be it for now, unless somebody has a topic that they want to talk about here. So, um, just a reminder, we'll be live tomorrow and Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. And tomorrow, I will try to not be like I was tonight, where I ended up starting almost a half an hour late because I had a little technical issues at the start. And then the Phillies bomb of the ninth happened as well. So I was like, nah, I can't go on at the very beginning. So, but the Phillies did win. They won 2-1 over Tampa Bay. The Braves lost, so they lost another game to the Phillies. And the Mets won 3-2. So you have a potential showdown this weekend between Mets and the Phillies. And the Phillies can basically end the Mets' hopes of a division this weekend with a series here. So everything is looking good for the Phillies. Um, So we'll be live tomorrow and Thursday. I'm also going to start making the audios for the show. This week's show is going to be uploaded to both the Joe Quill Show and my old podcast, The Philly Guy Speaks. Philly Guy Speaks is no more, but those episodes in will be forever on Apple unless I decide to take them down. But we'll we'll let everything happen here. So looks like San Francisco's in control as well. I got a nice breeze blowing in right now, and I got an article to write for tomorrow. Is tomorrow is the Prince of Wales Stakes, the second leg of this Canadian Triple Crown. No Triple Crown on the line as Caitlin, her greatness, is not running in the Prince of Wales at Fort Erie, also known as Fart Erie, if you're a bit gassy there when you cross the border into Canada from Buffalo. So, so that's it. Thanks, Mike and Penguin AZ. SJ was here, and everybody who's watching behind the scenes and just lurking around. That's cool. You know, you know. I mean, I encourage participation, but hey, if you just want to chat, and if you don't want to chat, that's fine. Hopefully, I brought some good ideas here, and um, hopefully we have an open mind with everything that was going on with the Tyreek situation as well. So that's it for now. Let me see one thing here. Um, mm, mm, mm. Mm, nah, I don't see anything worth rating to. So that's going to be it, and we'll do it live tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern, and hopefully we'll have some more good stories to talk about as well. So thank you all for joining me tonight, and we will do it live tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern here on Twitch, on X, and on YouTube, all at Joe Quills. And just a reminder, we are part of Bleacher Brothers. Check bleacherbrothers.com for all your sports needs, and also check all the specials that we have there if you're looking to open um, a sports gambling account, and also as well 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem. So have a great night, everybody. Catch you tomorrow in about 22 hours. Good night, everybody.